I'm going to show you guys some of my guitars. I'm going to start off with my favorite guitar ever. This is Betty, and it's a Gibson Standard V, but it's more than standard to me. I love this guitar. The very first time I picked it up, it felt right in my hands. And ever since seeing Randy Rhoads playing Flying V guitar, I knew that was exactly what I wanted to play. So hooking up with Kramer and Gibson has been awesome because they have great Vs. What I did with this guitar as soon as I got it is I threw in a combination of pickups I use, which is the 81, 85 EMGs. And traditionally the tone knob would be right here and volume would be right here, but I use volume so much, and every time I would go to do volume swells, I'd always end up hitting the toggle switch out of place. So I got my tech Art to switch them around. So this is now tone knob and this is now volume because I actually use that the most. It's called Betty, and also known as the orgasm donor because that's what it gives me every single time I play it. So that's Betty right there. Then we'll move on to my next guitar that I really love. This is my Night V from Kramer, and again, another guitar that I absolutely love. I actually used this guitar I recently did a song with Bret Michaels where myself and Phil Collin of Def Leppard played guitar together on Bret Michaels' new song, and I actually used this guitar to record all my parts. And it just sounded right. As soon as I plugged it in, Bret sent me over his song, and Phil sent me over his guitar parts. I started playing my parts on here, and it just felt right. All the lead stuff on this guitar, it's easy to shred on this thing. Then I'll show you some guitars. I've had these for a long time. These are some of my older Axes, but I still really love these. I'm a Flying V guy, and this is a Dbz guitar. And this one just looked like the devil to me when I got it, and I really liked it, so picked it up. And
this is Dean Zielinski's line.
Yeah, this is Dean Zielinski's line. I talked to Dean a few years ago, and he had sent me a few of these guitars, and I love them, and I play them once in a while. They're very, very cool. There's one, and I also have another one right here. This guitar I use for our song Come Undone. It's our Duran Duran cover. And when we were in the studio and we recorded the parts for that song, to transfer those tones live, I tried many guitars and I could not get that shine that we got in the studio. And when I got this guitar, I messed around with it a bit, and I was able to dial in a really good tone. So this is my Come Undone guitar. And then, like we showed you before, this is my Pink V. Right now I'm using this for casual sex. I'm using this song for, well, not to have casual sex, even though I probably could use it to have casual sex with. But I use this for our song Casual Sex, and I use it for our song Save Yourself, and for our song Sick and Twisted Affair. And it's really cool. Again, the EMG 81, 85s, except these are in the custom white. This guitar is absolutely awesome. I don't even want to give it away. I love it so much. That's pretty much what I'm using right now for my touring guitars. Take you guys to look at what I'm using for amps and pedals and stuff. Let's go check it out. So here is my amp rig that I use live. In the studio, I use a lot of digital amps. I just find to get the tones I'm looking for, a lot of the digital software works really, really well. But the challenge with that is when you're using digital software and you can get it to sound so precise and perfect, you go and play live and it's just like, how can you get those tones live? So I battled trying to find amps that work for me for years until I grabbed this thing right here. It's the orange TH30. We had done some dates with Stone Sour, and I'm a huge Jim Root fan. He's a great guitar player. So I would sit and I would watch Jim every single night, and I loved his tone. Then when I looked at what he was playing, he was using a lot of orange stuff. So I was like, you know what, I'm going to try that out. Went to the Orange site to see some of the amps they had, and I noticed Jimmy Page is also playing orange now. I'm a huge Jimmy Page fan. Like, he's a huge influence to me as a guitar player. And I was like, okay, now I definitely got to try it out. So I called the guys at Orange. They sent me this, and it's absolutely incredible. It gets everything I want. I used to run 2 to 3 heads during a show to get all the tones I wanted, from clean to overdrive to heavy to lead. And now I run only 1 head, and it does everything I need. I'm using the GCX Voodoo Labs foot switcher to switch all my pedals. And this is pretty much my entire rack of pedals here. I got my Keeley compressor, my Zakk Wylde overdrive, which I use to give me my solo boost. I got this Hughes & Kettner tube factor, which I use as my overdrive from my clean channel. I got my Digitech DigiDelay. I got my Boss Dynamic Wah, which I use in casual sex, so I don't have to sit there and actually wah the entire time. I can walk on stage and I have it set, so the wah is actually perfect all the time. Because that was so annoying. I'd have to sit there the whole time to play the guitar part. I wouldn't be able to move. So the dynamic wah is actually really cool. Then we go over here. I got my Electro Harmonix reverb pedal, which I use quite a bit. My small clone chorus pedal, which I also use quite a bit. And next thing is my Weeping Demon. I was looking for a really good wah. I used Vox my entire life. But the only thing I hated was having to actually smash the pedal so hard to turn it on and off. I would find sometimes I would think it would be off, and I'd walk away and it'd be like, what's that really shrill sound? And I would realize, oh, I didn't hit the pedal off. So I checked out this pedal, the Weeping Demon, and it senses the second your foot touches the pedal, it turns it on. The second your foot's off, it goes off. So I don't have to worry about that problem anymore. Really cool pedal. So that's actually the pedals I'm using right now. Here's my Voodoo Labs controller. It literally controls all these pedals, every combination of all these pedals. It's really, really, really cool unit. And the last thing would be my cabinet. I'll show you that over here. This is actually the first cabinet I ever got, and it's still my main cabinet. I got this cabinet, just Marshall 1960 lead, classic cabinet that I'm sure everyone's used. And I've tried everything else. I've had a lot of endorsements where I've gotten a lot of different cabinets, and I always come back to this very first cabinet that I got when I was like 17 years old, and I love it. As you can see, it's battened and torn, and
Did you use the JCM 2000 as a backup? Or?
Yeah, this is actually my backup rig. Just in case my Orange goes, I have this dialed in close enough to where I can get it to sound close to my Orange, except my Orange is just definitely at another level. But in case it goes down, this is my backup for sure. Phil owns a company called PSC, and he custom made this guitar. It's incredible. It's one of the coolest acoustic guitars I've honestly ever played. It's got so much weight to it. It's like literally like holding a Les Paul. And it just rings out and it sounds incredible. And he gave it to me and I fell in love with it, and I've been using it ever since. It's very cool. So at all our acoustic stuff,
Natural wood maple binding.
yeah, yeah. It's all, yeah, all pearl. This is actually, he was saying he makes these nuts from, he'll go and buy like old deer antlers that he'll find around, and that's what he makes the nuts out of. The saddles and the nuts and stuff. So that's actually really cool. I've never seen anyone do that before.
And what Fishman system is it running? Classic.
Yep.
Very cool.
It sounds really good. Like I said, oh, this is another cool thing too. I've never really owned an acoustic guitar that's a bolt-on neck, which is kind of signature to what he does. So you can literally adjust the neck much easier, and you can actually take it off. I thought that was really cool because I use this guitar sometimes in a drop B setting, but then sometimes I'll use it in standard or sometimes in drop C sharp. So depending on literally what I'm playing, you can take off the neck and adjust it and just make it feel great any way you like. So I thought this was really cool.
Very cool. Sal, thanks so much for taking the time, man.
Absolutely, anytime, man. Thank you. Loud Guitar.
Making up the plans, tired of these days, they're trying to she's down with it. There's nothing wrong with it, 'cause it seems to me